everyone. I'm Lisa Godley, filling in for Barbara Hamlee. More senseless shootings are in the headlines. Plus, have you tried to get a COVID shot only to be turned away by your pharmacist? Do you wonder if the National Guard could be deployed in cities like Norfolk and Newport News, as they have been in Washington, D.C., and threaten to be in Chicago and Baltimore? And what about the governor's race in Virginia? Will voters turn out in record numbers? These are just some of the topics we're planning to discuss on today's Another View Roundtable. But first, it's that time of year, the time to show your love for Another View by becoming a member of WHRO Public Media. This year, more than ever, we need your support. And joining me to talk about it is midday announcer, host of Acoustic Highway and Pickin', and the man who answers our phones during Another View. And today is sitting in my chair as the show's producer, none other than our very own Dr. Barry Graham.
So glad to be here and just loving this. I look forward to Thursdays each and every week and getting to see all these wonderful guests surrounded by the best and brightest minds out there. And that's yet another reason why you should support Another View, because of the dialogue and the conversation and the hard work that goes into this program.
That's right. And when you do, we have some incredible gifts of appreciation just for you to show our love. I am so excited. We have a new fleece, you guys. The Another View fleece. It has a logo. It's really cool. It has a zipper. I'm so excited. When I saw it, I said, ooh, looks like Christmas presents. For just $20 a month as a sustainer or a one-time gift of $240. We also still have the Another View V-neck t-shirt that also bears our logo for $8 a month as a sustainer and $96 as an annual gift. But, we know you don't need the gifts. It's nice to support and show what you love. But this is your opportunity to support what you love, the programs that you enjoy, that you wait for each week, that you would hate to see go away. This is your time. I've run into more and more people, Barry, who've come up to me and said, I love this show. I love, what you guys do. You're great. And I ask them, are you a member? I'm going to get to that. Well, Now's the opportunity to get to that.
Now more than ever, we need your support. Everybody is well aware of the dialogue that's going on around public media. Federal funding has been cut. We are looking at the community, asking you to step forward. And indeed, this is the time more than ever, if you've been on the fence and considering supporting the station, supporting Another View, today is the day to do it. It is, by the way, this is the only Another View opportunity to contribute around Another View. It's a one-week pledge we have here. So 889-9401, WHRO.org, or you can use the WHRO app. It takes about 90 seconds of your time, and boy, are you doing something great for your community.
Barry, we have a $2,000 match.
That's right.
So if folks want to pledge, they will match that up to $2,000. So this is your opportunity to double your money. So if you're thinking about it, wanting to do it during this hour when we have a match. We don't want to leave any money on the table. So now is the opportunity. Pick up the phone, give us a call, make that pledge of support. Support what you love. What are your favorite Another View shows? What topics have you really enjoyed over the years? Are you so glad that we've been able to bring to you? We're excited to do it. And we're coming up next week. We're going to be talking to the folks from Edenton who've been in the studio a couple of times. We journeyed down to North Carolina when they were protesting down there over a Confederate statue. And they're going to be in here because that statue has now been removed. They're going to be talking about that. There are just so many different stories and issues that we bring up here at Another View. And it's just so exciting to be able to be a part of this show and to be able to bring things to folks and allow them to listen to conversations that they might not otherwise be able to listen to. So, Barry, I know you're excited about being a part of the show. What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite? Do you have something that you just love or what?
Well, let me tell you one aspect I love about the show is, of course, you are sitting where Barbara traditionally sits, and you're usually in here with us, and you can vouch that there are times that Barbara's trying to get our attention, maybe for something, needs a mic adjustment or something, but we're so busy discussing the show amongst ourselves inside the studio here at times. We have to remind ourselves we are here to produce the show because we get so caught up with the guest, and we have our own conversations at time inside the studio here. It is so critically important. I love Dr. Keith Newby and what he has brought to this show with his health initiatives, and there is not a single Another View week that I go out that I do not say, wow, what a program.
Yes, it's an amazing show. I am so proud and pleased to be a part of it. And you can too. You can become a part of the family. This is your opportunity. And as I mentioned, some wonderful gifts of appreciation, a brand new zipper fleece just for you. If you pledge your support for just $20 a month as a sustainer, or a one-time donation of $240, or our short sleeve Another View V-neck tee for just $8 a month as a sustainer, or a one-time gift of $96. This is your opportunity to become a part of the family. Do not let this pass you by. This is your chance to support what you love, and we are excited and waiting for you to become a part of the family.
Discussing today's topics from an African American perspective, this is Another View.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Another View. I'm Another View producer Lisa Godley, filling in for Barbara Hamley. Now is the time to support Another View by becoming a member of WHRO Public Media. As I mentioned earlier, we have a $2,000 match, which means every membership we receive between now and 1 o'clock will be matched dollar for dollar up to $2,000. So now's the time to pledge your support. Call Pledge Central 1-800-940-7170 or go to WHRO.org to make your pledge of support. If you love Another View, we need you. Thank you in advance for being or becoming a member. Now, we are so incredibly excited to have the ladies who make up the Another View Roundtable back in the studio, and we have lots to discuss. So let's meet our pundits, starting with Dr. Alvian Lyons, a human relations coach and consultant, an author, and host of the Messy and Fully Human podcast. Welcome back.
I have missed you guys.
We have missed you.
It's just so nice to be together. I mean, it's terrible that we are where we are right now as a nation and what we are navigating, but it's beautiful to be able to have this conversation with my people. So I just enjoy you guys so much.
We enjoy you too. Gayleen Connorton is the founder of Celebrate Healthcare, a healthcare outreach, advocacy, and education agency. She is also president of the Hampton NAACP. Gayleen, is that it? You got something else you want to add in that you've been working on?
I'm the political action chair for the Virginia NAACP.
You're a busy lady. That's all I can say. You are a very busy lady. Allison Moore, an award-winning, clean stand-up comedian.
Talk to me nicely.
Producer and host of More Laughing in the Morning talk show on Sky 4 TV and More Laughing at Work podcast on Google Play. And now has the region talking about camps that you have in place for young people. You stay busy.
You know, I'm trying to figure out how to feed these kids. And I also get bored quickly. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's feed the kids with arts and media. So I've been really excited this summer. We did More Laughing Arts and Media program because I really feel like if I would have had this exposure and experience when I was younger, I might not have got so much detention. And I would have not needed to get to I was 40 to realize, oh, that's a gift. So I'm excited about exposing the kids. We had a great summer. Barbara was here. She taught them journalism and everything. Shout out to Barbara.
All right now. Okay, wonderful. Now, Dawn Hester is on her way, and you may know Dawn. She is a treasurer for the city of Norfolk. She is an educator and a politician, and we look forward to her arrival.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so let's get started on this conversation. Yesterday, in a matter of minutes, actually, there were 2 shootings making national headlines. 3 students were shot at Evergreen High School in Colorado. 2 remain in the hospital. The student who witnesses say opened fire fatally shot himself. Meanwhile, just 20 minutes before that in Utah, conservative activist Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking at an event at Utah Valley University. Now, President Trump called Kirk's shooting a dark moment in America and described Charlie Kirk as a patriot who devoted his life to a cause of open debate. He was known for asking those who did not agree with him to come to the front of the line for an open debate. Now, the U.S. Constitution protects open debate primarily under the First Amendment. But Alvian, it seems now we're seeing more and more cases of, if I don't agree with you, I am going to resort to violence. How do we get on the other side of this?
First of all, let me say that I am deeply concerned for the direction we are choosing as a nation. It's a choice. There are lots of things that we have to navigate and can continue to navigate. We can see differently. We have the right to do all of that as humans, but I am concerned about the fact that we are watching political violence take on a whole new form. I mean, to pretend that this is new for us would be disingenuous, okay? So while this is absolutely the history of America, from Abraham Lincoln to today, we have seen violence of this sort be perpetrated in ways that will forever change American history. What concerns me, though, is that the way in which we communicate about the people who don't see the world the way we see the world as enemies of America, that kind of language, that kind of rhetoric, which dehumanizes individuals to a point that your position is your identity. We all get to hold all kinds of positions, but they may or may not really be fully defining of who we are as people. We are multi-dynamic people. We are ever evolving. We have history of legislators who sat on one side of the aisle many years ago and sit on a different side of the aisle today. So to suggest that people don't evolve is to ignore the human experience. So I'm really concerned when we start making decisions, life-altering decisions about individuals because of where they stand today. So the demonization of people who have different perspectives, whether it's political or anything else, social, religious, I don't care what it is. When we demonize those individuals and we take them out of their human form into just the enemy identity for perspective, it is easy to pull a trigger. It is easy to run a car through a crowd. It is easy to create some kind of violent outcome because they're no longer human to us. We have to understand that if you sow a thought, you reap a feeling. You sow a feeling, you reap an action. You sow an action, you reap a habit. You sow habit, you reap character. The character of America is changing because of the way that we think about our brother and sister in America. If we don't come back to that space, which is not a space that you just legislate, we actually have to do something about where we're going and our psychological orientation to America that is underpinning the decisions that we are making. And those decisions are no longer just about, I will cancel you. And there are pros and cons to that in either direction. I can choose not to shop at your store. I could choose not to listen to your information. I can choose not to engage with you. But to, as the young people will say, unalive you because we disagree, that is fundamentally problematic. And it will not have an end if we don't choose to create one.
Wow, thank you.
I said we missed our girl. I think we missed our girl.
America's therapist.
Yes, we did. We
Period.
absolutely. Gayleen, I'm going to throw something at you. President Trump immediately blamed a specific group, and I'm quoting him here, the radical left, for Charlie Kirk's murder. And the shooter hasn't even been identified yet. The shooter is still at large. Talk to me.
It's another distraction. That's all what it is. It's a distraction. You know, I agree everything that Alvian said, but let me just say this. You know, I didn't agree with who Charlie Kirk represented, but I do agree that he believed in open debate. He believed in the First Amendment of freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't agree with the fact that he talked about black women and pilots and all this kind of stuff. I mean, he's got a whole, the case people in the audience, they need to look him up. But I will say this.
Thank you.
His family, his children, his wife did not deserve this.
Correct.
And let's call it what it is. This was an assassination.
Absolutely.
No one's using the word assassination because the shooter knew exactly who they were going to come in and kill. Didn't shoot anybody else. It was a sharpshooter. Another reason why these guns are so easily to get, you know. And he came right in, did what he needed to do, and left. No different than what happened to Martin Luther King, RFK, JFK. You know, we can go back, you know, we go back to Emmett Till, Medgar Evans. Let's just go back and look at the thread of what assassinations look like. This was an assassination, you know, because this gentleman believed in freedom of speech. And he even though I disagree with all what he said, I ain't gonna say all, with the exception of freedom of speech, he was assassinated, and he certainly didn't deserve that. And there's no place, but this is a culture that's being reinvented again, and it's starting at the top of the White House, and that's where it's starting at.
Right, and it's all over social media, that's for sure. I'm gonna ask Victor to play a clip that has been circulating on social media. This was Charlie Kirk talking about gun violence.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given right.
Allison, you sent that to me.
I did. It's definitely, I mean, you know, I want to make sure that I start not coming across as like cold or callous, because I'm far from that. I have a lot of empathy for the thousands of people who were there, watched it. Like, I can't imagine. I got kids on college campus right now. To look on the news and see their favorite influencer or somebody they came to see was shot, like, that's crazy. But then there is all of the content that is resurfacing of all of the things that he said. I mean, it reminds me of, you know, my family used to tell me things like, that's not the direction you want to go. Those are not the people that you want to hang with. You live by the gun, you die by the gun. Like, you're going to have to be accountable to the philosophies that you have. And I think that right there was just, when I saw that, I was like, dang, that was the first thing that came up within minutes. They hadn't even said at that point that he was pronounced dead, and they were already showing how many times he was promoting guns and how he didn't have that same empathy for situations like this. And then it's ironic, sad, but ironic. I reserve all of the jokes. It's definitely not the time, but it's like, dang. Watch what you say.
Don, when Dr. King was assassinated, Robert F. Kennedy was quoted as saying, "Who are we, and how do we want to move forward?" What are your thoughts on how we get around this in this country?
I don't. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I don't know that you get around it, but I know that you and we, as a people, and I'm talking about all of us, we can move through it. Because we know, even when, and in many instances it still is, discord will always be. And discord is not bad, because I think discord helps us, if we're communicating with each other, to get better. And it would be wonderful if each of us continued to work to get better. The conversations that the young man was having were conversations he felt needed to be had. Even though we disagree, we still have to have those conversations. And so we can move through. But I think what we're being taught is that it's a continual evolution of moving through, because we as people are changing. People who at one time were subtle in their negative views of people of different races, hues, genders, was quieter. But now things are more public, and that's okay. But in that okay, you have to find your space of, I'm not going to, or let me try to do it in a positive way. I am going to accept you for who you are, no matter your thoughts, because I know that your thoughts, your actions, your behavior, your actions are because of something you have learned somewhere. And you are bringing to me all you got. And it is not for me to judge you. I am to listen to you. And if you're willing, you're to listen to me. And that's the only way we're going to get forward with this.
Yeah, we were just having a conversation in our pre-meeting before the show with the team, and we were talking about there were years ago when two congressmen, for example, didn't agree with something, and while they were, in Congress, but you'd see them out at lunch, or they'd invite each other to their homes for parties. They understood, that we still have to be, cordial. We still have to respect each other, but
that has been my political life since 1996. That there are people I have disagreed with, and some people who are listening know who they are. But yes, I still go to their birthday parties, or I still celebrate their grandchildren, or whatever. But even when we were disagreeing, we shared why we disagreed. And then we figured out how to move forward for the citizens of Norfolk. No matter what. I didn't get everything. Sometimes I didn't get nothing. But sometimes, as long as there was a moving forward of making life better for the people that we represented, it was okay.
Gotcha. Allison, you wanted to add something?
I think because, you had talked about in the statement with the just automatically coming out saying it was the radical left. I remember, I think it was over the summer. Was that when Melissa Hortman and her husband and some of the... It wasn't the same response. It wasn't the quick, that had to have been the radical right, And so that energy is kind of weird and not helpful. Like, to me, it is counterproductive that we're immediately... It's not been 24 hours, and from the top house, there is this blame without a suspect even in a car, anywhere, of this is where that came from. I don't think that that's helpful. To me, it's also very strange, but I think that adds to the idea that this is definitely a distraction.
All right. Well, I think that we just need, in the conversation as a whole, I think that it's important that we have the conversation, we include the facts, but we have to in no way forget the human aspect of all of this.
Yeah, you're right.
The politics has become so polarizing that it's what makes possible the demonization of other humans, right? And for as long as we keep operating like that, as I said before, this will not be the first and this will not be the last that we will see. If we are not willing to sit with who we are choosing to be by the way that we're thinking and the way that we're engaging one with another, we will not be the America that was supposed to be for those who loved President Reagan, the shining light on the hill. If that is the America that you want, if that is the voice that you believed in, that's what used to represent conservative values, that's a beautiful notion of America as a shining light on a hill. But we can all agree that what this is and what that is are not the same thing. So if our goal for our brothers and sisters who may be conservatives, independents, Democrats who are respecters of and lovers of the same America that our conservative brothers and sisters may love also, and see different ways of getting to that America. Mm-hmm. What I think we have to stop doing is that because of what side the concept idea came from determines whether it's valuable or not. I can't tell you how many times I watch two people say exactly the same thing coming from two different parties, and it's only okay if it came from your party. So like this teaming, this tribalism that is more important than patriotism, because I love how we throw the word patriotism around without seeing it as an us. Patriotism is about the us of it all, that we are trying to build a more perfect union. We, not us against them, but we as a whole, what makes America beautiful in the first place. The ability to disagree safely was part of what it meant to be American. The reason why we promote democracy across the globe is the idea of this very fragile concept that allows for each of us to maintain our individuality while being able to move a collective vision forward. But we keep abandoning that for the thrill of, for the moment of, for unfortunately now the evil of power. to be able to suppress, oppress whomever we disagree with or whatever it is that we fear. And that fear is feeding a violence in America that is unmistakably dangerous and unsustainable. We have got to be able to find our way back to the middle where the conversation happens. I'm not asking anyone to abandon their values. I'm just asking them to embrace the humanity of the other who does not share your same perspective of America.
Ready? I'm going to take a call. Elena from Norfolk. Elena, thank you for calling Another View. You're on the air.
Hey, girl, hey.
Oh, thank you. Wonderful program, regular listener. I want to say I am in agreement with everything that I've heard. I would like to add, however, that one of the ways to break out of this spiral that leads us to the bottom is to acknowledge the fact that both sides are not the same. I give you as an example, as a progressive, I am willing to give my life to stand by the right of free speech of a MAGA to call me an N-word. Mm-hmm. On the other end of this, they are willing, it seems like, to murder me in order to shut me up. If we are able to acknowledge that both sides are not the same, the platitudes are not helpful. We keep appealing to both sides, we. However, it is pretty clear by evidence that it's not both sides. So look at the patterns, not so much the outliers, not so much the exceptions, but what have been the patterns of the values that each side has embraced. I'm hoping that one of the things that comes out of this is that people realize the lying is killing us. When the president can say that it's the fault of radical left, when all the evidence sustains that it is coming from, supported by, and financed not by one side, but another in particular.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
All right, Elena, thank you for your comment. Gillian, you wanted to say something?
Yes, being in my role, it's not unusual for me to get death threats. I done received them. Phone calls. Yeah, really. Phone calls, letters. Had the FBI or whatever because I speak up, and then when I would say issues, and I'm very passionate about it, but I read my Ephesians. I leave out the door with my armor guard every day. But my point is we can't stop. We can't stop speaking up to what we believe in. And I appreciate what the caller just said because you have values. You got two sets of values that are here. But as Alvian said, we got one America. And so we got to get back to we the people. And so where can we go? Somewhere in that center, because the way the situation is being handled, what happened yesterday, and we said it was a shooting within a couple minutes in Colorado, with that, and you look at the course of all of the shootings and assassinations. Let's call it assassinations for what they are and call the shootings for what they are, the mass shootings. We have to find our way to get back to the middle, but no way should we continue we have to continue to speak up.
I think that's so interesting. The elected producer, can we put some notes in to talk about this? Because that, like I have said before, and with all I'm doing with the city, like I think I want to be a part of the council or whatever, but I don't want that smoke. I don't want that smoke.
I'm not part of the council.
I mean, I know, but I'm just saying, like in my own path.
She's talking about the death threats.
Yeah, my own path of speaking up, being passionate about something, saying that is very interesting. So the type of courage that it takes to.
Yeah, because I'm not speaking up for myself. I'm speaking up for my people.
Yeah, it takes a lot. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot. They come after us quite a bit.
Yeah.
You too.
Oh, yeah, girl. And it's all right. Mm-hmm. I know who I am.
I do too.
And I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I speak from the heart, but I also speak from facts. Mm-hmm. And everybody doesn't like the facts, and everybody doesn't like my heart. Mm-hmm. And it's okay. But yeah, that's if you're in public life politically, whether you're elected or not, there are challenges that come not only your way but your family's way too. Mm-hmm. That's why I tell all young people who are running for office now, you run for the office, not your family. Don't put your family out there. Your husband, your wife, whatever, your spouse, your children, don't show them in anything because they need to be your home steady. And people don't need to know who they are. So they can't be looking after them.
And when
Ladies,
people talk
thank
about
you so
public
much for
service, they don't
sharing
think about
that
the.
part.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was just saying when people think about public service, they don't think about the real sacrifice that people have to be willing to make, which is part of the reason why you better believe in what it is that you're speaking for, because unfortunately, it has been historically true, and it's certainly true again, that it has to be the hill you're willing to die on, because unfortunately other people are cashing that check for us when we are not prepared to. So you better be sure that you're not doing it for the likes and the fame, but you're doing it because you're driven principally on what it is that you're speaking to.
This makes me think of like those generational conversations. Like I can see now just in this moment why maybe some people who might have wanted to are just like, it's not worth it to me.
Right.
And where that individualism comes in. I have anxiety right now thinking like my gay thing. Who called you with that foolishness? I'm going to go after him and pray with him. But that is like real, like, I was about to get out there.
Okay. Oh, we're going to talk about that in a minute.
You still could.
Thank you.
Anonymously.
If you're just joining us, we're talking about current events with the Another View Roundtable. Albion Lyons, Don Hester, Gayleen Knoyton, and Allison Moore. We'll continue our conversation in just a moment. But first, I want to check in with Pledge Central to see just how we are doing. Barry, where are we with that
we are doing
$2,000
well.
match?
Oh, thank you so much. We have raised just slightly over $1,500. Actually, to be
Nice.
specific,
Yay.
$493 away. Special thanks to Howard Best of Virginia Beach, Barbara Jump from Center Cross, Virginia, Leonard Colvin from Norfolk, and Lisa Clark from Hampton. Nice wide range of localities there checking in. Thank you. Keep up the momentum. 800-940-7170, online, WHRO.org. And you also can go to the WHRO app and make your contribution today around Another View.
Thank you so much, Barry. That's right. Now's the time, you guys. If you're thinking about becoming a member, now is the time. We're close to that match. We don't want to leave any money on the table. Ladies, I am shifting gears. We're going to change conversations right now. We want to talk about these COVID vaccines because we've been getting calls and people have been questioning what's going on. Proposed federal restrictions on who can get a COVID-19 vaccination has folks both confused and worried. Some states, including California, say they plan to defy FDA restrictions and create their own rules about who can receive the vaccinations. Meanwhile, Florida is moving to end all vaccines for school children. And just last week, New Mexico's health department issued an order to remove potential barriers to ensure that all residents could have access to COVID vaccines.
Well, let me just say this. So last week I went to Walgreens to get my COVID shot, and they said I needed a prescription.
Right.
And now you have CVS saying you don't need a prescription. And what's happening now is that Walgreens is required. Sorry, and CVS don't. But but the regulations is that you have to have a prescription, whether you're 65 and over or under 65 with underlying conditions. That is a big barrier because these doctors' offices are being overburdened, especially small doctor's office are being overburdened with these prescriptions. The other piece to this is that the progressive states, the governors, have allowed the pharmacies to write the prescription and give the COVID shots right there on the spot. You know, this is just, and now the ACIP, this organization, one of the agencies, is going to have a meeting on the 18th and 19th to determine how they're going to move forward. We don't know if we're going to have free community shots. I was just talking to some health professionals that we worked together in 2019 and 2020, and I cannot believe that 5 years later, we are back to where we were in 2020. You know, so the COVID is creeping up big time, and people are trying to get their shots. Now I'm hearing that the shots may not be the same, and so it's
Right.
a lot
I
of
was gonna
different. It's
say
a lot
something
of
about
different
that.
mixed messages is there, and I'm doing my research on that as well. But I'm just saying this: I'm getting my COVID shots, I'm getting my tetanus shot, I'm getting all my shots. I'll be like, you know, like you take your children and get them all now before they start changing them up, because I don't know what this administration gonna put in the next batch. But I'm just saying right now. it's just so much confusion around this COVID, and the COVID is creeping up, and people are dying. And so the best thing that you can do is talk to your physician.
Right.
That's who you need to talk to. And if you don't have a doctor, you can go to any of the free clinics, or you can go to the Southeastern Virginia Health System, Hampton Roads Clinic. You can go there even if you don't have any insurance, and they will see you. So talk to a physician.
Absolutely. The information I got from the Virginia Department of Health says pharmacists can administer the 2024-2025 COVID-19 vaccine, but the regulations do not yet include the 2025-2026 formula,
right,
which is anticipated to be a better match for the strains that are currently or expected to be out this season.
But the secretary said that they want to take out mRNA. I know he's not a doctor. I know. But he wants to take.
He saw it on Google.
They're gonna take it out. Take out
ChatGPT.
mRNA that has been a proven factor. They want to take it out of vaccines. It's something that has been researched and everything, and they want to send us back into chaos all over again. And then you're gonna look at all the disparities that we have be risen up to even more than we've ever seen it before.
Do you really think they want to send us into chaos? Because we in chaos already.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that. I'm talking. We're in healthcare chaos already. You're right.
Okay, because we're not collecting data properly.
No, we're not.
Do they want to create
right.
the herd diseases? I don't know what I'm saying, but where everybody gets sick and we get so sick that we're not going to be here, and they're going to take more of us out.
Yeah, and the scientists are leaving. The good scientists are. Where's Dr. Fauci? Bring Dr. Fauci back.
Oh,
right?
Oh
boy.
Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci is one of us. Like, no, he ain't coming back.
And he busy.
He did his due. He did his time. He needs to rest. But it is horrible.
It is.
And I just are we going to get to the point? I don't know that I should go there, so I won't.
Right. Well, you had already given the visual. So on social media, there's a thing like people will say Atlanta is not a real place. Y'all ever heard that? Mm-hmm. Like it's not real because it's like just the crazy things that comes out of there. Florida is the next on the list. Like that's not a real place. Like who is saying we're not doing any vaccines? And it's just like it's gonna be The Walking Dead. Your face gonna peel off. You listen here. I got a cousin in Florida. Don't you come to my house with your bumpy skin and tell me, can I stay with you? Because my kids got vaccines. You gotta.
But on the real side, you got the measles popping up.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you want to give an option where your kids don't have to get vaccinated, but you want to send them in with other children in the classroom.
That is what I'm saying. They're gonna be driving over there like that's what that skin gonna look right on like.
And then we won't even go into the healthcare piece of it, the Medicaid and the ACA and all of that. We won't even talk about that because I'm in the middle of putting community meetings together on how we gonna get these work programs together, the requirements on work and volunteer. I'm getting that together now. The tsunami's getting ready to hit. I mean, healthcare is the root to everything. Everything. You have good healthcare, you can't do nothing else, right?
Well, I mean, the truth is that your health is your wealth, and that is true for us as a nation. Mm-hmm. It's also true for Big Pharma, that your health or lack thereof is my wealth. Okay,
Right.
So there are multiple dynamics that are always at play in everything, and unfortunately, greed often underpins much of the decision making. And while I am not, I believe in the capitalism of America, in the sense that there are opportunities that this country holds that no other country in the world holds, right? So I'm not taking that away. And as an entrepreneur, thank God for the opportunities that have been available in this country. What I will say, though, that as for a country that is driven deeply by a multi-billionaire class, a lot of the decisions that we are experiencing here in the regular world are driven by decisions that are being made in spaces that we will never be inside of. And how the economics is driving the risk that we are willing to allow to happen to the majority that a teeny sliver of minority are going to financially benefit from. We sometimes don't realize that there is three-dimensional chess being played with our lives while we only have enough information and financial access for checkers. So there is a lot that is taking place, that being educated and doing your research for yourself to understand the best possible decision making you can make for your household and the people that you love becomes more paramount, because a society that once, or that we liked to believe, was particularly interested in our collective well-being when wealth was not, or did not feel like, the singular driving force. We are now in an America where people are in competition for who's going to get to Mars first. So who cares what happens to Earth? Because we're going to be wealthy enough to rebuild a society in Mars. And that's a very real conversation. I am not saying that to be entertaining. It is an actual conversation that is transpiring. We are at a precipice in America. And we really have to decide who we're going to collectively be, because a small decision-making factor that has enough money for multiple economies globally is deciding a whole lot for the majority of us.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that checkers chess analogy, you ate that up, girl. You ate that up. Like, this 3D chess, and we only got the resources for checkers.
Well,
Did you see how excited they were when they found that stuff on Mars, that rock or something?
Yep.
I was like, and sometimes I think to myself, okay, y'all go ahead, go to Mars. Just leave the Earth in decent condition, because Earth works for me. Because
I'm trying to stay.
I think it is beautiful.
Yeah, I'd like to stay.
well, we did get a call from Stephanie from Suffolk. She hung up, but she said the Virginia Health Department just 17 hours ago issued a ruling that no prescriptions were needed for a COVID vaccine. Barry's checking on that.
Great.
Definitely, it's for seniors with underlying conditions, but I would advise you check with your healthcare professional, your provider, to find out, exactly where you line up with all of this.
Shout out to this show, y'all, because I can tell you from my journey with you all, I have been so much more aware. Like, I used to be like, well, I don't understand what the different people do, but now I know why I need to vote for the governor. Because, God dog it, my kids can't have bumpy skin falling off of them.
I'm hoping
Thanks
we're going
to
to get to that
another
conversation in
Yeah,
just
y'all
a
gotta
minute.
call in, y'all.
I want to get to this National Guard
Yeah, we
thing
gotta get
first.
you
You got to
that.
give the
National
number.
Guard.
You got to give the number.
Yeah,
'Cause
bring
some
the
people
money
might
in.
be wanting
Bring
to
the
try
money
to
in. Yeah,
call
because my
and
thing just
remind
keeps
them.
circling. It's not
Yeah,
going
remind them
through.
of the number.
Okay. If you are,
Ready to donate and keep it going.
I'm trying to donate
we are in the
now.
middle of a pledge drive, and if you would like to contribute, and we hope you will, dial 1-800-940-7170, or you can go to WHRO.org and pledge your support. We are so close to meeting that match, so help us get there. Ladies, are you wondering if the National Guard will be deployed to cities like Norfolk, Newport News, as they have been in Washington, D.C., as they're threatening to be in Chicago and Baltimore? What do you think? What are
Not
your
if,
thoughts?
but it's more a win for me.
Okay, so can I give y'all facts?
Please.
That's what we
Okay. This is we're in the midst of seeing mass incarceration. Okay? In Washington, D.C., black students are being picked up and they're being charged, falsely charged. There's things that's happening in Washington, D.C. that people, one article already came out on the Howard students. And what a gentleman was accused of having cocaine in his wallet, but they gave him the wallet back to him. They never checked the ID. They charged him. And this is the whole thing. Things are happening in Washington, D.C. that's not being told. A fear is that this can happen into Virginia right before the election. And to make Virginia a Marshall state, saying that, and deploy them in black cities to come bring in the National Guard to cause disruption for this election. This thing is so big with this National Guard that is more than just, it started with the immigrants. These students were pulled over in Washington, D.C., black students, honor roll students. Do you know that when they were pulled over, the FBI, the National Guard, and the FBI National Guard, and was one
ICE.
other one. ICE. I'm sorry. Yeah, ICE. There you go. ICE.
teamwork.
They were all there. They were all there with guns drawn.
That's crazy.
And these kids had big afros. They had dreadlocks. And then immediately afterwards, when all over social media was all over the news that drugs was found and this, that, and the other. And this is going to be an ongoing story, but that's one story that we know about. What about the other ones that we don't know about? And so this is a big issue of what's happening. It started with the immigrants. And I knew that was going to spill over to the people.
Yeah, because they didn't have the numbers.
Right.
The numbers was insane.
They're charged with picking up 3,000 people a day.
Right.
That's what the numbers are.
So they had either draw people or make bleed over into other categories.
3,000 people a day. And if you look at the big bad bill, they have
with the BBL.
Yeah, the BBL, the big bad bill.
Yeah, better reverse the BBL.
That big bad bill. They put more money than ICE than they put in law enforcement. More money than ICE. I mean, the money that's been put in ICE is unbelievable.
I remember reading those numbers.
And you have to watch what's happening. It's more than the immigrants.
Well, see, that's a thing that I always find very interesting. And to admit that I happen to be a social media junkie in that I like to read other people's commentary because it's unedited. You find out what people get
think.
real bold
Yeah, they do.
in social media, right? So I read it often. But there are some very valuable conversations that transpire. And one of the viral conversations is the fact that the hypocrisy and contradiction between when and where we want to apply the Constitution and when and where we want to apply law and order, that it only seems to apply if you are the group we have issue with. So if you're an immigrant and you harm an American, then we need to put $1 bazillion into making sure that not one more immigrant comes in this country and is able to do X, Y, and Z. And let me be clear. If we talk about it from a familiar perspective, it is true. No stranger is going to come in my house and harm my child, right? Because this is my house, right? But family members inside of the house, you are also responsible for making sure that your child's safe with your family members also, right? So let's not pretend that we don't have to speak to that. If your family member or your family members are the people who are causing the most issues, and we're just going by data alone, this is not about feelings, we're just talking about the facts. If they're the ones that are causing the most issues, where is that resource most appropriately being applied? And so when we look at the mass shootings, when we look at the number of murders, and I guarantee you when we find the assassin from yesterday, they will not be someone who is not from America. I can almost, I will bet you $1,000 that is the case. It will be homegrown. We need to be investing in what's happening to the family. I am not saying that we need open borders. That is not what I'm suggesting at all. I think that you should come in legally and appropriately. I think that America is better as a byproduct of the beautiful diversity that has made it the brilliant country that it is. I have no issue with any of those facts. I do have issue with us pretending like our biggest problem are them. Our biggest problem is not them. The data does not support that. We need to be taking care of what we're doing to each other. And that's where the money needs to be going. If I'm going to deal with an issue, just like you walk into an ER, they take care of the gunshot wound before they take care of the broken ankle. Both of them can be problematic, but the gunshot wound is what is going to take a life. The data suggests that our issues are far more domestic than they are anything else. We need to be investing in how we are healing, protecting, and taking care of Americans. And quite frankly, Americans as they are harming each other, not our foreign adversaries as they are harming us. Do that job, but invest your money appropriately. We are not investing. We put $1 trillion in the twisted ankle in the appendix, but we are not putting $1 trillion in the heart attack and the collapsed lung that is America right now. And that to me is insane.
The therapist is back in the house.
That's
y'all.
what I'm saying. I was going to chill a little bit. I'm a fan.
I'm getting ready to put the Lucy sign up there if I say.
Yeah. Cash App, Michael. Well, no, Cash App is studio.
Well,
so
no,
keep
you
coming
know
back.
what? It's inflation now. I got to raise that number.
Look, donate it to the show.
Yeah.
Okay, we're real conversations.
That's right.
Take
Donate it to
place.
the show.
That is
Taking-
absolutely right.
Right. Yes. Please donate because
Yes.
we want to stay on
We wanna
the
continue to
air.
have
we
these
want to
conversations.
continue to have this conversation.
No amount is
Absolutely.
too large or too small.
That is
That's
exactly
right.
right.
That is
Absolutely.
exactly right.
We are not insulted by a billion.
1-800
Yeah. If you need somewhere else, like if you want to diversify it, we can help you.
It's
Different
an
departments at WHRO.
That's right. 1-800-940-7170.
You know, it's you finished?
Go ahead.
I'm
No,
sorry.
right ahead.
I
Go
was
right
just
ahead.
gonna
Dawn.
say it's interesting that as we pay attention to stuff when we talk about salaries and people not making enough money for the work that they do, that they paying people $180,000 and you don't have to have no skills.
And black unemployment is at its all-time high.
And for people
I
who
know that.
might not want that job, they'll
Yeah.
go get that job because they still want to take care of their families, or they still, it's might not necessarily be the job. But,
But $180,000,
we talk about a lot of people who, we're like, there's jobs out here. Why don't y'all go get these jobs that's out here? People say because they ain't paying me enough, or they not disciplined enough, or whatever. But for $180,000, people are going to go get those jobs.
And you could be a
So-
self-proclaimed bounty hunter too now.
Correct. So that's where we're going, and that's why it's so important to vote.
But can I make a quick point about unemployment? All right, since
Sure.
we're going to mention it. Okay, since we're not going to be able to get into this conversation, but everywhere I go, I'm going to say the same thing over and over and over again. Listen, if we're going to talk about unemployment and the change in what our economy is going to look like between 2027 and 2030, what everybody needs to be doing, everybody, I don't care how old you are, you need to understand how AI is going to impact your world. You better understand it. There are only about 5 careers that are likely to be untouched by its integration. Health and wellness, skilled trades, creative and communication fields, because AI can't replace those effectively, cybersecurity, business and leadership roles. Only because those are high human touch roles. So they're not going to invest the kind of money that would be necessary to create a robot or a bot that's going to be able to do it. It doesn't have enough financial upside to doing so. But it's going to make those areas extremely valuable. When you start thinking about becoming an electrician, do understand that AI's efficacy requires electricity. So for people who are like, oh, I want to do XYZ that is going to be easily replaced, don't think that the intellectual high is going to survive AI. Its ability to read information, disaggregate data, and spit out accurately the ultimate response to said challenge is going to exponentially be faster than what humans can do. So when people think that the high-end jobs are going to be protected, that is not true at all. I don't need the lawyers. I don't need the paralegals. I don't need the people who interpret large amounts of information. AI can do things in seconds that take people years to be able to do from a research perspective. But when we made the mistake in education to move away from skilled trades and to go completely academic, we abandoned a lot of folks that could be active contributors to our society. Well, AI is going to reinvent those roles. We need to stop turning our nose up at our children who want to learn how to go to trade school and learn some basic things, some HVAC. Let our kids do what they need to do, because AI is going to change everything from an industry perspective. So when we talk about black unemployment, I'm saying understand AI and go get yourself inside of those 5 career fields.
And I'm in the midst of putting together an AI summit.
really?
Yeah, I'm doing an AI
needs to be.
summit. Oh, yeah, I'm doing an AI summit, yeah. When I was at the National NAACP, there is a gentleman, and he's got cliffnotes.ai. And he has all of the sites that are black-owned AI. Because if you look at ChatGPT, they speak in basically in Caucasian form, but these AI speak directly to in the black community. But they have all these different sites that are black owned, and I'm gonna actually I'm I've got several folks that I met that I want to bring in, but I'm actually working on an AI summit across the board, not just for the Black area, but I think everybody needs to know what AI is. And he says everybody should spend 15 minutes a day just to learn about AI.
Yeah, because you're spending more than 15 minutes on it. It's learning you anyway.
Yeah,
that's true. And that's what people don't. They think that because you didn't open up the app, ChatGPT, that you're not in AI. AI already has you. Like I try to encourage, because all my best friends, they over 70. So I try to encourage them, this is not what you thought, that you're in it anyway, so you need to know what's happening. But we're doing that with my youth camp. We're doing media, content, communications, and AI, and protect them against predators. We definitely got to have this conversation, because there are so many ways that creeps are taking over through the AI, through the media. Anyway,
and let's be clear, Meta is offering over $400 million for a single contract to be working inside of Meta.
Oh, let me go.
When you are a tech genius. Okay, so the great equalizer could potentially be AI for our communities. If you are not skating where the puck is, you are behind. And that's Wayne Gretzky. But I'm just telling you that we need to, the puck is going to AI, and it's the one thing that could potentially be colorless for communities. It is an opportunity for us to change the economic balance of America.
Okay, ladies, we're almost out of time. We got less than 2 minutes. Ooh. So I want your quick response. You got less than 30 seconds apiece about this governor's race. Are voters going to turn out in record numbers for this governor's race? What are your thoughts? Give me something in 20 to 30 seconds.
Yes,
you think
I seen a girl. What's her name? The our sister, white lady. I'm sorry. All my white sisters. Yes, thank you. Because she was at Norfolk State game. They're not playing. I think people are going to turn out. I think they're going to be voting, and I see what they're doing, and social media is helping. My vote is yes. I think it'll be one of the biggest turnout in governor races, and I'm bringing a new 11 people to the team.
Everybody bring everybody to the table.
I've never voted for a governor. I'm sorry, but I will now.
Oh Lord, she said it out loud.
She said it out loud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm glad
1
you did.
minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just say this: we are working very hard to turn out the vote, and the national NAACP has used Virginia as the number one and putting resources into Virginia, and we have 13 districts that we think we can flip. And we're nonpartisan, but we political as hell. But anyway, that's what our national president says. But I think that from what I'm seeing, we got more work to do. We still have more work.
We have a lot of work to do. Yes, people, we need you to turn out and vote. And everybody listening to us, you need to bring everybody
the
that you know.
The only poll that counts is taking people to the polls. That's all that counts.
And early voting starts September 19th.
As a
Thank you.
Final statement. Whatever we are not changing, we are choosing. So I'm saying to you right now, if you want something different, you got to go out and do something different.
Do something.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate this so much. Yes, we're sending prayers to Barbara. We love Barbara. We miss Barbara.
Yes.
Thank you, audience, for your support of Another View, WHRO Public Media. Still in time to become a member, 1-800-940-7170, or go to WHRO.org to donate. How'd we do, Barry?
We did terrific. Thank you to the 12 donations, $2,227. Yes. Special thanks, Lynn Jenkins of Chesapeake, Louis Capano of Williamsburg. Thank you. Your support keeps a great conversation on the air.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for becoming a part of the family and for supporting Another View. Next week on Another View, victory in Edenton, North Carolina for those who wanted the Confederate statue removed from the town square. Our theme music is an original composition created especially for Another View by Jay Sennett. Dr. Barry Graham filled in for me as producer of today's show. He also answered our phones. Victor Bowen served as today's audio engineer. I'm Lisa Godley. There's still time to become a member, so if you haven't already, pick up the phone, give us a call, 1-800-940-7170, and be sure to join us again next Thursday at noon for Another View.